Well, today is a extremely exciting day because we are doing an inaugural first of its kind episode here at Pop Apologists. We're doing a travel guide, a mini episode. So if you're looking to book a trip to St. Bart's, one of my favorite places on earth, today we are going to share everything you need to know. And I'm so thrilled because Alexandra Stockton, my travel advisor and a all-around travel expert, is here to share all of her expertise. Alexandra, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course. Just so everyone knows, episode 155 is a general Q&A on all things luxury travel with Alexandra. And so if you're more interested in like general travel, go to episode 155. Today we're just talking about St. Bart's. And then the other thing to note is using Alexandra's services. She's a travel advisor, so she can help you book hotels, figure out where to stay, anything that you need regarding traveling to 4 or 5-star hotels. Alexandra is there for you. And her services are free to 99% of the people who book with her. It's something where, unless you're booking a very extensive trip that needs tons of planning, restaurants, transfers, all of that, if you just need a hotel booked, it's completely free and you get an amazing deal and perks. So, Alexandra, can you share really quick what people can expect, what the benefit is of booking with you versus like a booking.com?
Yeah. So when you book yourself or through an online travel agency like booking.com or Expedia, you're just an anonymous person. When you're booking through us, you're paying the same price, but we have close relationships with the teams on sites, the GMs, the sales reps. Not only do our clients get special perks like daily breakfast for two, which at a nice resort, as you know, like can be $100 a day at least.
Yeah.
$100 resort credit, upgrades. And when you book with us, you'll have first priority for upgrades above Amex or anything else. And we basically make sure that they know you are a VIP and to take extra special care of you.
It's a pretty incredible service that I don't think enough people know about. So if you're booking a expensive trip, you need to book it through a travel advisor and you need to book it through Alexandra. And this episode is not sponsored. We asked Alexandra to come on. She's our personal travel advisor. So that's our disclaimer and our advice. But let's get to the topic at hand, which is a place that truly for me, it's heaven on earth. I think it's one of my favorite places on this planet. I went for the first time a year and a half ago, and I live in the Caribbean, so this is why. But I've been there now a total of 4 times because I'm so obsessed. I've gone like almost once a quarter, which is insane. That place is St. Bart's. Let's get into everything St. Bart's related. Alexandra, just pulse check. How do you feel about the island of St. Bart's?
I think St. Bart's is very unique in that you're getting European vibes in the Caribbean. And the food is good, which, let's be honest, in the Caribbean is, not always the case.
Definitely
and
true.
The vibes in St. Bart's, I think, just can't really be beat. It's just a classic destination. Everyone that we send is absolutely obsessed. People want to go back. Like you, I feel like you're like the queen of St. Bart's at this point. I feel like you're the real expert. But no, it's an incredible destination. People love it. No one is ever disappointed.
No, I think the thing that's really special about it is it has the polish and beauty of somewhere in Europe, somewhere that's just really, really spectacular, but it's Caribbean weather. So it's that super nice warm nights, powder white sands. It's a really special geography. And then, like you said, culture, hospitality, the hotels that are offered there, the food. It's kind of like the best of everything, in my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
No, I would totally agree. And there is a
Yeah.
reason why people go back every year.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing I will say is, there's probably going to be people listening that are like, I could never afford St. Bart's. And that's not true. St. Bart's, you can absolutely, there are low cost options on St. Bart's to stay and to get there. Like, is it going to be as exciting and glamorous as flying in on trade winds and, dipping in over the mountain onto the little runway? No, you can go from St. Martin with a ferry. There's a hotel that's like $300 a night. So there are options for people. So I just want to be inclusive with this conversation because like more people can go than I think they realize.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, honestly, if you look at the cost of Disney, like what you're spending there a day, like you might as well go to St. Bart's. So, and there are
Exactly.
also great villa options. We book a ton of
Mhm.
villas for clients. It is a really affordable option if you're going with a group, and
Yep.
even smaller villas that are going to price less than hotels. And in the summer,
Mhm.
great deals.
No, it's so true. The villa options and the private home rentals, actually, you can get great deals for groups. I went with a group of girls, and we felt like the cost was such a bargain for what we got. The other thing I will say about it is it has a reputation for being a place that you only want to go on New Year's. You only want to go like in the winter when it's super popping. But we were chatting about it before we started recording, and that's kind of evolving and changing. It's not a place where you only need to go certain months.
Yeah, for sure. Like you're in the winter, you are definitely going to get like the most hopping vibes. That's
Mhm.
just the truth. New Year's Eve, it is the hot spot on the planet. Like it is where you
Yeah.
want to be, but it's also the most expensive then. This summer, it has been getting more and more popular. And so there's definitely a lot going on still. In August, that's when everyone from France comes and stays. So the island has a ton of energy. And if you're looking to maybe not be around as many Americans and have more of a European feel, August is a great time to go.
Oh, I didn't even know it was open in August and you could go in August.
Yep. All the
Wow. Okay.
Europeans come over.
That is so interesting. And I was actually chatting with you because Kagan and I are looking for a spot. It's closed in September, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It closed
September,
in
beginning of
September.
October.
Okay, because I'm, maybe we'll just go to St. Bart's for part of August. But no, it's also I will say a pro tip that I have is go on a holiday weekend a little off season. So I went on Memorial Day weekend with a group of girls, and it was popping. Every beach club was booked out. Everything had a party. Everything had all the energy and all the vibes. But because it was May, the prices were a little bit, or I think actually significantly lower. So that's also a really good pro tip.
Yeah, in May and June, like Cheval Blanc, which I'm sure we'll talk about, books for like 900 to 1100 a night, which is
Is a
a great
deal.
deal. Yeah,
Yeah, completely. Because that's usually booking for like 2,500 and up,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
for sure. And sells out pretty quickly in the
Mhm.
winter.
St. Bart's is such a special place. And the other thing I will say, the hotel that is really economical is Hotel Le Village St. Bart. And the great thing about it is that it's a very short walk from the main beach clubs in the main area. So you don't have to get cabs from it and to it. It's a really good place to post up. The other thing about St. Bart's, if you're trying to do it on a budget, is you can go and stay there, but then you spend your days at beach clubs. You spend them at hotels. You're going and getting a day bed. And so it's not even like your hotel honestly matters that much in St. Bart's anyway.
Yeah, the hotel is definitely like more what vibe you're wanting. And if you're wanting to go for a special occasion, like we'll match you at the right place, but you're definitely hopping from beach club to beach club every day. It's not
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, I mean, it can be somewhere where you're lounging at your hotel pool or beach, but usually, and I think the best way to experience the island is if, like you said, like you're bopping from place to place, you're doing something a little different every day.
I think a lot of times you're doing one or two different beach clubs a day, maybe one beach club a day, and then you're also doing a 9 p.m. dinner reservation. So you're basically
Right.
like sleeping in, hitting the beach club at 1, then refueling at like 6, 7 back at the hotel, and then you're back to a very gorgeous dinner. And let me just tell you one thing, everything is going to be very expensive. So this is also a great tip if you're like, I want to have the best food, I want to be at the best spots. I don't care so much about where I'm crashing for the night. I would do like a low cost villa that they have options or Hotel Le Village. Okay, but beyond the budget conscious, let's get into the Luxe St. Bart's experience. So let's get into Luxe accommodations and really amazing hotels that you recommend on St. Bart's.
So the two best hotels, I think it's pretty undisputed, are going to be Eden Rock and Cheval Blanc
Mm, really? Those are the two best.
for sure. One hot tip is they don't always put their availability online. So if it looks like it's sold out, that's not always true in the high season. So reach out to me. We can check availability. Eden Rock books up pretty far in advance. Well, they both do for
Yeah.
a high season in the winter, but we can usually get you in if you're planning far enough ahead. They're both very different vibes. So they're
Mhm.
both incredible. Cheval Blanc is going to be more serene, quiet, romantic. It's great even for like a chic family. They have an amazing beach, but it's going to be a more low key, romantic, quiet, private
Mhm.
vibe. Eden
Yeah.
Rock, extra special. I think it's very unique. The beach is great. The service is over the top.
Yeah.
And you're also really close to town. So you're really close to all the action.
So, Eden Rock, I always go and get a daybed if it's available. It's not always available to outside guests, but usually it is the times I've gone because I tend to go more off season. And I will just say, if you don't stay there, you have to go get a daybed for the day, post up, get a burger, get caviar on the white sand, swim in the turquoise water, have a little frosé. It is truly one of the most heavenly places on earth. And I do think it's like, compared to other hotels I've either stayed at or visited or at dinner at, it's just a different like level of experience. And that speaks to how expensive it is. And that's the reason I've never actually stayed there because rooms start at what, like 2 grand a night for
Yeah,
sure.
usually sometimes in the off season we can find them a little bit lower, but it's
Yeah.
just truly a special place. Pippa
Mhm.
Middleton's in-laws actually own it and there's a suite named after her. So
Oh
if
my
you're there over the
gosh.
holidays, if you're a royal watcher, you might even run into her. But it's just iconic, like
Yeah.
one of the most iconic hotels in the world.
Yep.
It's incredible. Take photos by like the iconic red buildings. I think you have a great
Mhm.
photo there in a red bathing suit. Am I making that up?
No, I purposefully bought a swimsuit that looked very it had like an Eden Rock vibe. It was red with like a white squiggly print, and I fully like nothing wrong with this, but like I also completely looked like I was an employee. Like I looked like I was in an Eden Rock uniform, and like I would walk by people and they would like kind of turn their heads because it was like confusing why the employee was also like swimming and drinking the frosé.
They're like, ma'am, can you get us another bottle of rosé, please?
I felt so embarrassed by that outfit choice. The picture was cute, but anyway, I don't recommend dressing in the employee uniform. Oh my
Well, the
gosh, for the
photo
Instagram
was
picture.
iconique. So
It's truly fabulous. So yes, go get a day bed, go for dinner, go for lunch. It's a fabulous hotel. You don't have to be staying there to enjoy it truly. But let's talk about other hotels. So maybe if you're like not on the Cheval Blanc or the Eden Rock budget, like my husband and I went for our honeymoon and we were not going to be dropping 2 to 3 grand a night. So we stayed at Le Sereno in like the Grand Cul-de-sac. And I will say, we had an absolutely impeccable experience. It was so stunning. There are so many, I would say, five-star like luxury hotels there that, like, yes, Eden Rock will be this extreme experience, but to me, it was still just absolute heaven on earth. Like, what other hotels would you recommend that maybe aren't at that super high level? Before we move on, Chandler, can we discuss the gorgeousness that is Clean Simple Eats protein powder, my favorite protein powder on God's green earth?
Lauren, this protein powder is the one we have been drinking since college, since the days where, we shared a little apartment. And just like our love for each other, we don't plan on stopping loving Clean Simple Eats anytime soon.
Here's the deal, everyone. Someone messaged me. They're like, no, really, is Clean Simple Eats that good? Like, is it good? Or are you just BSing us? I swear on my unborn child's life that Clean Simple Eats is truly delicious. Okay, I don't even care about the ingredient quality, but their ingredients are clean and grass fed. And
Mm-hmm.
more importantly to me, it tastes like a Frosty, a Wendy's Frosty, but it's a gorgeous protein drink.
I mean, I don't even think about the taste of it, if that makes sense. Like the taste is so perfect and delicious and consistent that I don't even like
Yes,
think about the taste. Like it's just like, oh, I know this is going to be good.
it's a treat.
It's a treat. It's wonderful. It's 20 grams of protein per scoop, 110 calories. We love it. Our favorite flavors are the Simply Vanilla and the chocolate brownie batter, as well as the mint chocolate. I think you love, Lauren.
Yeah, I love the mint chocolate. It tastes like a thin mint frosty, just blended with ice and water or maybe a little milk. You guys go to cleansimpleeats.com, use code POPAPOLOGIST for 10% off. Truly, it's my secret weapon to getting enough protein and feeling amazing, and it tastes delicious.
Popapologists, 10% off.
Yeah, there are so many, honestly, incredible hotel options to choose from. And like you said, Le Sereno, great. I think Kagan is wanting to do kite surfing, which is one of the reasons we put you guys on that side of the island. Not
Yes.
the best for like the most calm waters, but like you mentioned,
Correct.
you are going to beach clubs every day. So you're getting
Yes.
that beach experience where you're spending the day, but it's great for water sports. Les Toiny is another option like that. It's spelled Toiny, like Tony, but it
Yes,
is
yes.
Les Toiny. Don't make the mistakes I've made in the past. It is a super private vibe. All of the rooms have private pools. You are still pretty close to everything. You definitely want to rent a car on the island. So you'd have a car anyways to get into town. But it's another one along those lines, just super private, romantic, great for honeymoon. Great option there. Those are going to be like one step down from
Yeah.
Eden Rock and Cheval Blanc in terms of price. Another one on that level would be the Rosewood. It's one of the newest hotels there, and it sits on its own private peninsula. So there's great beach area. There's a pretty wide range of accommodations in terms of rooms or even small villas. It's great for families, but also couples. And usually we can get pretty reasonable pricing there.
Oh, that's amazing.
So our Rosewood partnership, we get a lot of like fourth night free rates, unpublished deals and things like that. So Rosewood properties across the board are great, but I think it's usually on the same level as those in terms of pricing. Obviously, if you're getting into higher category suites, it goes up, but it's definitely a good option to consider. And then there's kind of another tier below that where the options are still wonderful, but you can really find places within like even like the $600 range, $600 to $800 range. And that would be Villa Marie, Les Bartholomew, and Hotel Monophony.
I thought it was Manapani. Manapani.
That might be it, honestly. That's how it's spelled.
It's spelled Manapani, okay?
Yeah, literally. And then there's Hotel Berryer, which it's a really iconic French brand. It's owned by a family. The kids have just kind of taken over the family brand, and they're really kind of renewing all their properties across France and in St. Bart's. So I think you'll be seeing more from that brand, but it is in town. So it's a great location if you want to have easy access to shopping and to nightlife. You're super close to the beach still, and it prices really well. So that's another great option too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the key thing to take away, truly, in my opinion, is that your hotel is important, but it's not nearly as important, I think, personally, as like the dinner reservations you have, the beach club reservations you have. And I'm talking about if you want to have the classic St. Bart's experience where you want to go and you want to be where the party is. Because unfortunately, with St. Bart's, it tends to be a place where like there's a place to be every night and it's the hop in place. And so I actually, this might sound insane, but I would recommend booking your hotel after you've secured your restaurant reservations rather than booking your hotel and being like, okay, we're going and we're booking flights. And now I'm going to see, like, I'm going to email Nikki Beach or these really amazing places. Because if you can't be on Nikki Beach or at the beach club on the day where the party is, if you're going for that experience, it's non-negotiable. That's my big tip. Book the restaurants first and beach clubs first.
So one thing, when we're booking for people, we can usually find out what's available.
Oh, amazing.
And if we're booking you at like Eden Rock or Cheval Blanc or some of these other top properties, we can get you in.
Okay, so the concierges and you through those hotels, they have special privileges over the peons like me who are like emailing on our own.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a full-time job managing your St. Bart's reservations. Like you have a lunch
Yes.
reservation, you have a dinner
Mhm.
reservation every single day. And like you said,
Mhm.
you want to be at the right place on the right day of the week.
No,
So we
it's
can help
literally
people
crucial.
manage that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing too about Eden Rock, they have villas that we book a lot for people, a really wide range of options all around the island, and you get access to their beach area. So that is a fun option to consider if you are not at the price point necessarily for the hotel. The
Yeah.
villas come in a wide range of prices up to like hundreds of thousands.
I
But
mean, there aren't like villas that are less expensive than the hotel rooms at Eden Rock, are there?
yeah,
Oh, for real?
yeah, they're like small options that I mean are pricing for like $1,000 a night.
Okay, that's amazing to hear. So excited about that. And that's very good information that if you are booking at one of these spots, you don't necessarily need to email Nikki Beach first. You can potentially still get in. So, yeah, this is the reason. If you're booking St. Bart's, you really need to talk to Alexandra. You need to go on her website, you need to send her an email. AlexandraStockton.com. This is not sponsored, but we believe in Alexandra so much, and she's added so much value to our trips. We just want everyone to know about your services. So anyway, you need to talk to Alexandra as you're booking it.
The hotels and villas that we're booking on St. Bart's too always come with concierge services. So you're not having to
Incredible.
do the legwork yourself, which is great.
Amazing. I will say like St. Bart's is a place where it's not the most restful place unless you're going there for rest. It's like it's like a
Yeah.
very active vacation. It's kind of exhausting, to be totally
Yeah.
honest. Like, I almost recommend having an extra day to completely decompress if you can swing it on the island because you're there and it's go, go, go. So, let's talk about kind of where you want to be, the best beach clubs, the best parties, and when you want to be there. And I do think that this is probably something that shifts a little, but there are some constants in this.
So basically, the days of the week that matter: Wednesday,
Hmm.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday, if you're looking to party, those are not going to be the days you want to be on the island.
Right. Right.
Even Sunday nights are a little more chill than Sunday during the day. And if you've been to Saint Tropez, some of these places are going to sound familiar because basically all these places have outposts in both spots.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very French, St. Barth, Saint Tropez, very similar.
Okay.
But these places are not always one-to-one, but I just wanted to mention that if it sounds familiar to anyone.
Top line differences between Saint Tropez and St. Bart's. Like if you've been to St. Bart's and you love it and it's like your religion, like it is for me, do you need to go to Saint Tropez?
I mean, very similar vibe in this sense that you are going to a different beach club every day. You're hopping around. You want to have lunch reservations, beach club reservations, and dinner reservations every day. Saint Tropez is only open and hopping during the summer. So
Gotcha. Okay.
a lot of people spend their winters in St. Bart's, summer in Saint Tropez.
Oh, what a
But
life.
yeah, we were actually laughing like when we were just in Saint Tropez, how many people had their St. Bart's like beach club shirts on at the
Oh
beach.
my gosh. So funny.
But St. Bart's party vibe, I think, is going to be a level up from Saint
Okay.
Tropez, but you still have really lively spots in Saint Tropez too. But the scenery in Saint Tropez, incredible. You're getting like the mountains of Provence,
Mm.
the like deep blue ocean waters of the Mediterranean, but you aren't getting the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean, which is unique to St.
Right.
Bart's.
You're not getting the powder sand. You're more rocky.
Yeah, for sure. No white sand beaches there, but they're both incredible and do like they do. Winter St. Bart's, summer St. Tropez.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. That'll be my yearly calendar. I'll just have
Yeah.
to, find a new job to afford that. Okay, so back to St. Bart's though. Where do you want to be on which day? This is crucial information, everyone. Get out your notebooks. timestamp where this is in the recordings, write it down so you do not forget, jot this information down.
Yeah, and if you're booking with us, we'll make sure you know this, but I'll do kind of a quick overview. Apologies in advance for my pronunciation of these French words.
It's all good.
So Wednesdays, La Garite is
Yes.
the place to be. Have you been there?
I have been to La Garite, and the one thing I will say, and because Nikki Beach is like very iconic, if you can't get into Nikki Beach because it's booked out, I would say rearrange your trip, or I don't know, if try to figure it out. But I would also say that we went to La Garite because we couldn't get into Nikki Beach on a Sunday, and I actually think the party was better. I think that La Garite itself is a nicer beach club because it's newer. It's much prettier, in my opinion. And the party was actually even better. And it's next door. So I don't know. I'm just such a La Garite like stan. I'm obsessed with La Garite.
It is also one of the places to be on Sunday.
Oh, it is. So it's Sunday
Yeah.
has become the new thing. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
See, it evolves, people.
But yeah, Wednesdays are great there. Sundays are great there.
Okay. Wednesday, what time?
Well, it depends on how much you're wanting to party. Like you're usually like maybe getting to your beach chairs around like 10. Then if you want to get like the second seating for lunch, that's going to put you into the party.
The party.
Usually second seating like 132.
Yeah, my experience is that just make sure you're at the second seating if you want to be at the party for lunch, because that's when the party's happening. They're not going to do the party for the first lunch seating and then have, everyone at the first lunch shit-faced, like running around. The second lunch sitting, there's nothing after that at that beach club. So it goes for like 6 hours into the night, and people are partying for that long. And then they, go party at another place after. It's so fabulous. But anyway, yeah, you definitely want the second lunch sitting.
And that's true for dinner too. So like if you're wanting to party into the night, we want to put you at the second seating for dinner, because first
is that
seating
like 11 p.m. or 9 p.m.?
Like 9:30 to 11, depending on the spot.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Wednesday?
That's really like the most hopping spot on Wednesdays.
Okay. Now Thursday.
So we have a few options. So Sella, Petit Plage, and Bagatelle. Bagatelle being the most iconic of those three. That is where you want to be on a Thursday. Have you been to any of those spots?
I've been to Bagatelle and Petit Plage, and it's so funny because the last time we went, we had a reservation for Petit Plage, and they just emailed us and they were like, sorry, we are having a private party. Your reservation is canceled. And it was because Jeff Bezos had rented out the entire thing for Lauren Sanchez's birthday. So we were up the street from them. And also, he was at Nikki Beach when I was at La Garite with Sam Altman of OpenAI next door. I didn't know any of this at the time. I only found out on page 6, like the next day on my phone, devastated. But yeah, anyway, these places are so fun, so gorgeous. Bagatelle is so fantastic. They turn into like clubs, basically.
Yeah.
Like after the dinner, you're dancing on tables. It's really fun.
Yeah, like iconic experience. Like there are costumes, and the waiters are like hot. Yes. At all these places, basically.
St. Bart's, the service is just like unbelievable. The people are so hot, and they will do anything for you. They're here to help you. They're so kind. It is not like how when you walk into like a Louis Vuitton or like an Hermes, and the people are like stuffy, the sales associates are stuffy. They act like you're like not good enough to be there. St. Bart's is the opposite. Like they treat you so well. And I think that's one of the things about the island that people will find surprising is just how incredible the hospitality is.
Yeah, no, that's one of the greatest spots, and something Saint Tropez and St. Bart's has in common. Like they are bougie without feeling flashy, and they're very like warm and welcoming. But like you might see Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. To be honest, I will say the people are pretty flashy, I think. It's St. Bart's what I've been.
St. Bart's is definitely going to be more flashy even than Saint Tropez. Like, yeah, people will be wearing head to toe designer. Like if that's your vibe, like that's personally not my vibe. But yeah, there are people there that are definitely doing that.
Speaking of actually, I saw someone posted, they were like, everyone needs an ugly vacation, where it's basically like a vacation where you like don't really care what you look like. You're just like eating and just enjoying. And I love to go to Iguana Island. It's a hotel I've talked about ad nauseum. Alexandra and I both love it in the Caribbean. So it's a perfect ugly vacation place if you want that. But St. Bart's is the opposite. I would say it's
Yeah,
the place to
St.
see
Bart's
and
is
be
not
seen.
that.
No, St. Bart's is the place where like you've just partied for 6 hours and you are putting on full glam for dinner. And you have looks, I mean, generally that's how I do it, but you have looks for everything. And it's a place to like really turn it out in a super fun way. Like the sequined sheer dress that doesn't make sense for your local steakhouse on a Friday night, that's where that is gonna fit in perfectly, is St. Bart's.
Yeah, like even wear it during the day over your bathing suit. Like that, you would not
Yes.
be out of place.
It's impossible to overdress. So that part of it is just like so fabulous.
But as you know, since you did this for your honeymoon, there are direct flights between St. Martin, where you get to St. Bart's, and Beef Island, where you get to Guana. So if you want to end with 3 nights of an ugly trip to basically get over your St. Bart's hangover, you can do that. Or
Mhm.
in Anguilla at Cap Juluca.
Yeah. People do that a lot, and I think that I'm just not at the level yet where I'm doing doing that. I'm only affording the first trip, not the second trip, but
Right.
if you can swing it, you can go for it because what an incandescent experience. No, I absolutely love St. Bart's. Okay, so we have Stella Bagatelle and we have Petite Plage for Thursday. What time are those reservations? Those are dinner reservations. There's
Yeah.
no real parties on Thursday, right? Like at beach clubs.
It's St. Bart's, like, you're probably still going to see a little action. But yeah,
Right.
again, if you're wanting to party, second dining reservation. It's different for each place. We can find that out for you. Or
The
if you're
party is
making the
at night.
reservations, yeah, the party's at night.
Yeah. Okay, so then Friday. Where do you want to be on Friday?
Okay, so it's Lati, St. Bart, Les Petits Plage again, Bagatelle again, and Sella. So you're seeing
Okay,
some of these same
fantastic.
places. Yeah. So if you can't get in Thursday, you can hit up Friday or vice versa. Um,
Amazing.
or if you want to go to dinner and start a party somewhere and end the night somewhere else, that's also an option.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like if you want to pop in for a drink somewhere, like after, once the
Oh,
party
right,
is
right,
like
right.
really going, like you can do that.
Yeah, so that's actually for Lati. Lati is a really interesting place because it's a burlesque restaurant with a like a burlesque show. The food I think is hit or miss, and I think you're really there for the experience. You're not there for the food, and you're not really there for like you're there for the show and the party. I have been to Lati every time I've gone, and the last time I will say I think they've changed owners. Have you heard of this at all?
No, but I'm curious.
Okay, so the when I went before, the dancers were just so elegant and the performance was like very artful. It felt like you were on at Moulin Rouge. The last time I went, it felt like I was like watching like a low rent Ariana Grande grinding on someone. I'm not kidding. It had completely nosedived and fell off a cliff. It was so sad. The party after was super fun, but the performance was disappointing. And I know this is just like the most like snobby of commentary, but this is a St. Parts episode, everyone. So the shoe fits. But yeah, I will say, Leti, I really hope they kind of turn it around a little bit because I've heard a few people say the same thing.
Was it during different times a year?
Well, I know for a fact they changed owners because I was
Okay.
reading on like the Tradewinds magazine when I was flying over that it was under new ownership. So I think that might be part of it. I went in December of last year.
Okay.
So
Well, that's a great hot tip.
yeah, I would love to hear what feedback you're receiving on, if it's different from it was 6 months ago. Because that is potentially very true. And also, everyone, we're recording this on June 5th, 2024. So ground yourself in that if you're listening 5 years from now.
Yeah, these things are always changing. So
Yes.
check in with us. We'll make sure you're at the good spot. But no, that's really good to know.
Yes. Okay. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's really kind of about the party at night. It's less, I would say, about the party at the beach club. There's always going to be like a DJ and there's going to be energy, but it's not going to be like everyone is on the table and completely wrecked in a really fun way like it gets it gets so crazy. So let's talk about the day parties on Saturday and Sunday. Where do you want to be?
So you have a lot of options for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And like you said, it is the party during the day. It's what you think of when you imagine St. Bart's being on a beautiful beach, champagne spraying probably out of a Magnum bottle that cost someone thousands of dollars, spraying all over your designer sequin cover up in your
Yes.
Dior slides. And then you might end up in the water being carried by a hot server on like a
Yes.
platter. You never know what's going to happen. But I think it's like the most iconic St. Bart's experience.
Yeah, and I think that, to be honest, when I kind of gave my big spiel at the beginning, what I really should have said was like, just make sure you can get to the beach party on Saturday and Sunday. Like, you really want to have those experiences because that
Yeah.
is the iconic St. Bart's experience.
Yeah, you definitely want to be there over the weekend for sure. So Saturdays, that's when you're going to have the most options. We have Nikki Beach, probably the most iconic spot.
Yes.
Now Beach, Les Garrites, Liti, Bagatelle, La Petite Plage, and Sella all are kind of hopping that day. Nikki Beach, would you agree that that's like the number one place you want to be?
So during the day, just because people might not be knowing kind of what is a restaurant, what's a beach club, Nikki Beach and La Garrite and Now Beach Clubs are all like on the water and they're daytime activities. I think the rest of those are more dinner time restaurants. Saturday day, for sure, I would say Nikki Beach second sitting is the party, but it's not nearly as well, it just depends. I don't know. It could have evolved, but it used to be that it was like the little sister to the big sister party. That's on Sunday. That's the second sitting at Nikki Beach. But it might be a situation now where there's so much demand that they're just doing two big parties. So that might be the case.
Yeah, it's definitely, demand has definitely gone up. Like we were talking about, that's why it's kind of like lingering even into the summer, where it used to just be like dead in the summer, only hot during the winter. It's kind of like days of the week too. So like you can
Yeah.
always find something to do, somewhere to party on
Right.
St. Bart's.
Right.
But yes, Sunday, there are 3 spots basically. Like
Okay.
you're wanting to be at Nikki Beach, Lake or Now Beach,
Yeah.
all for lunch. Dinner not as happening on Sunday nights.
Right, because everyone is like wrecked from the Sunday beach party. So the move is really to do like plan for that second sitting. I would try to do Les Garrites or Nikki Beach. Either one is going to be absolutely fantastic and just try to do the opposite the day before. You really cannot go wrong. So like Saturday, Les Garrites, second sitting lunch, Sunday, Nikki Beach, second sitting lunch, and then vice versa. But I will say Sunday, the move is just to do like after that, like delivered pizza to your villa or just
Yeah.
something super like go swim at your villa. That's the best part on some level is like recapping the crazy party that just happened with your friends swimming in the infinity pool at the villa. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing about St. Bart's that's like so phenomenal is the service is so good. So like if you really want to take it up a notch, like do massages afterward. Like there's just fun things I feel like you can do at the villa and like you can do a private dinner if you want to. That's more low key. That just like make the experience like really bespoke and nice.
Yeah, like Sunday night, you want to have comfort food available, basically.
Yes,
Like you're probably going
exactly.
to want like a cheeseburger
Yes. And you're
and
going to be over
fries.
getting dressed. You're just
Yeah,
going to want to be
yeah,
like in your cover up, eating chicken tenders from the pool, basically, is the vibe.
yeah, and you're probably still going to have a buzz.
Yes, 100%. No, it's really, I think, such a special place. The other tip I will have for people is I would recommend if you're taking a trip there and it's like you're doing the St. Bart's thing, reserve an afternoon for shopping because the shopping is so fabulous. There's no sales tax. All the designers are there. There's some amazing boutiques where you can find really special treasures. And yeah, you really want to make sure you can spend, a couple hours shopping and at the end of that having lunch at Shalona, which is at the end of Gustavia, where all the shopping is.
Yeah, great beach too. But yeah,
Yes.
the shopping is incredible. Like
Mhm.
it's one of the things that makes St. Bart's so unique in the Caribbean. You don't get that anywhere else in the Caribbean, or honestly, many beach destinations outside of Europe.
Mhm.
Like you said, all the designers. There are some more affordable brands there too, some smaller, like unique boutiques. But yeah, definitely shop. And the town is like cute to explore. There's plenty to do.
No, there's so much to do, and I think the thing that's really special about St. Bart's is unlike other places you can go and it's like you fly in and then you kind of like drive through maybe a place that's like okay, but you get to a hotel that's really pristine. St. Bart's, the entire island is like stunning. And it's really just like a place that's so manicured and so beautiful wherever you go. And I think that just like holistically, it's just such a nice place because also it's not overrun. Like, even when it's like everything is super busy, that just means the restaurants are going to be busy and like very lively. But from what I've been told, even at its peak, it feels really nice on the island because there's no skyscraper hotels. It's all very boutique. There's just not accommodations that would make it feel crowded.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like it is not ever going to feel like super packed. It's also a
Mhm.
great spot for people who are wanting to do like a yacht trip, which we've done.
Yeah.
And that also, like, a lot of people, especially in the winter, are coming in off of yachts. So it's not just people at the hotels, it's people coming off their beautiful boats and joining the parties. Let's be real, that is like the top way to
To
experience
experience
St.
St. Bart's,
Bart's.
like how Jeff
And we'll put
Bezos
that
does.
above Eden Rock and Cheval Blanc.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, it's never going to feel like super overrun, but like it is a French island. People speak French. It is everyone
Mhm.
from Europe. It is unique in the Caribbean.
It's the euro.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
French island, like legitimately. So no, it's such a special place. I'm gonna look through the questions we had about St. Bart's. Is there anything else though from your notes that you really wanted to communicate to people?
Well, let's talk about how to get there really quick. So,
Yes.
there are no direct flights to St. Bart's. So, your best options are to fly to Puerto Rico into SJU and then hop on the Tradewinds flight. Or you can fly into St. Martin, SXM, and that services basically St. Martin, Anguilla, and St. Bart's. The airport can be pretty hectic. So there are some VIP airport services that can rush you through immigrations and customs that do make it a little bit easier. And then there are some hopper planes like Win Air that it's like a 15-minute flight from St. Martin to St. Bart's. Most of the hotels include round trip airport transfers. So they're going to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have issues there. The third option is to take a ferry or boat. The seas are very rough, though. So
Mm,
if you get seasick easily, like this is not
for
the
you.
option for you.
Yeah.
Like we have people though that are super scared of planes, like small planes, and they're like, we want to take a boat.
Interesting.
So I always give people a heads up about that.
JetBlue does not land in St. Bart's. Okay, these
No.
are tiny airlines and the pilots have to have very specific licenses to even do this landing because it basically like nosedives over a mountain and you get pretty close to the mountain every single time.
Yeah.
It's honestly like a super exciting way, in my opinion, to get there. And it's so fun. I don't think it's scary at all, knock on wood. And also, I will say, if you're a fear of flying, like look up like the statistics. Don't know if there's been any accidents in the past
Yeah.
decades. Everyone gets in and out okay, knock on wood, but it is like a very fun part of the experience. And then also I will say when you like where we talked about Nikki Beach, there's also a beach club called Gypsy that's fabulous, really amazing. It's all on this, I think it's is it St. Jean Bay? Is that what
Mm-hmm.
that beach
So
is?
that's, yeah. And that's also where Eden Rock is.
You have the view of the planes going in and out, and they look like toy planes. So you almost feel like you're in a what's the thing that kids get for Christmas with like little cities inside, like the snow globe. You feel like you're in a
Snow
snow
globe.
globe
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everything is so pretty and these little toy planes are flying above you, and you're like, wait, am I just in a storybook? Like, how is this real? It's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's a wild site. Like if you're listening to this and you don't know what we're talking about, Google St. Bart's plane landings and you'll see like it is crazy. It is very cool to see. It is definitely one of the things that makes St. Bart's unique too.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. So wants to know St. Bart's with or without kids?
Honestly, Great with both. I mean, that's really like, you know, your kids, like, you know, your family, you know what experience you're wanting. It will obviously be different with kids, but it's definitely a family friendly destination. I find that Europeans in general are pretty open to having kids around. That's something very different than in the States. If you're wanting to party hard every night, obviously leave
Yeah.
the kids at home, but it is a family friendly destination. And there are some hotels and villas that would be better than others. But yeah, we have plenty of clients who go with even like very young kids. And there are
Mhm.
babysitting services available, or bring your babysitter, especially if you're staying in a villa.
It's honestly kinda cute because you'll see these, like, model women with their, like, little babies at the beach clubs, like, not usually during the party, but just, like, during the day for more of a chill day, like, at Gypsy, there's always, like, a couple babies there and a couple kids playing. It's just really where the silver spoon children exist, and they're fun to watch. They're always dressed really beautifully, and there's always, like, a nanny a few feet away.
Right,
Just a
right,
different
right.
world. It's so fun. But yeah, I agree with you. Either way, really. I mean, someone wants to know going to St. Bart's this summer, is Nikki Beach good any days other than Sundays? So we would say Saturday
Saturday.
afternoons, second sitting. Yeah. Also, hot take, you're really not going to want to go otherwise. It's like it's dead. And that's like not the vibe. It's not the energy. Like that specific place, you want to be there when it's popping.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get in, like on a Friday, don't go to Nikki Beach because you couldn't get in on Sunday. Go to Eden Rock for lunch and
Right.
like do a
Agree.
day bed.
Agree.
Okay, so this is so funny because we were supposed to do a Amalfi Coast travel tips episode in conjunction. I'm like, we'll spend 20 minutes on St. Bart's and 20 minutes on the Amalfi Coast. But it has taken us almost 45 minutes to get through all the St. Bart's stuff. But you know what? It's important because everyone
Yep.
needs the full travel tips to St. Bart's. So anything else before we depart and let you go, Alexandra?
I think the only thing we haven't touched on is, if you are into nature, there are
Mm,
also great hikes on the island. So if partying hard isn't your thing, or it's not what you want to do every day of the week, there are definitely quiet parts. There are hikes with gorgeous views, some with like that you can access like little swimming pools, natural swimming pools, great views, beautiful scenery. And again, rent a car so you can get around to all these places.
I've actually heard that the public beach is really spectacular. I've never been, stupidly. I've only heard this tip like recently, but I've heard this the public beach that you can go to and like pack a little picnic is really beautiful.
So the one where all the locals go is Celine, I believe is how
Okay.
you pronounce it. It's also a topless beach. So if
Oh, good
you're
to
wanting
know.
the full French experience, that is a great place to hit up.
Maybe that's why someone liked it so much. No, it was actually Claudia Oshry said that she loved the public beach in St. Bart's. It was like her favorite part of it, or one of her favorite parts. So I thought that was interesting. I know we've talked a lot about like the party and the restaurants and all of that, but like that's not everyone's vibe. Like not everyone wants to do that. And I think that maybe I didn't speak to other experiences. Like it's 100% a place worth visiting if you want to do yoga and you want to eat really well and you want to work out and you also just want to like be at the coolest, most fashionable place with the best shopping and the most beautiful hotels and beach clubs. And I think I said this, but I want to reiterate, you can really go to almost every hotel and do a day bed. And so can experience all the different hotels no matter where you're staying. So that's another big tip.
Yeah, definitely. Like during the week, the hotels all have incredible beach clubs. That's a
Yeah.
great time for like a more low key day, great food,
Hmm.
great beach experience.
Okay, you guys, if you're going to book St. Bart's, again, this is free of charge. Alexandra is there for you. She's going to be able to tell you where you can get in. She's going to be able to tell you what's available. Go to alexandrastockton.com. She's going to help you every step of the way. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Where else can people find you?
I'm also on Instagram at Alexandra H. Stockton. So I post there about work and my life. And then Alexandra Stockton Travel is my work page on Instagram.
Incredible. Okay, thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to check out our Amalfi Coast travel tips, total episode, total guide to the Amalfi Coast that is also going to be coming out. Thank you, Alexandra, for being here. You're the best.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. That's all for now, folks. Don't forget, give us a 5-star review, hit us up on Instagram at Popapologists, and we will see you next week, live every Wednesday.